Howdy. In this video, we're going to go over tmux. Tmux is a terminal multiplexer. It allows you to have like multiple sessions in a single window, allows you to save your sessions on remote machines, allows you to run long-running processes without process getting interrupted if your local internet goes out, but your SSH into a remote machine. It's very helpful. You can save a lot of time. You can save your sessions on the server. So a lot of times you work on your SSH into a server. You'll do some work on there. Then you'll leave that, and then an hour later you'll have to SSH back into that machine. Well, sometimes you want to just keep your place on that remote instance, but without using a program like tmux or a screen, you can't get back to exactly what you were doing. So tmux kind of allows you to save that session and do different things, but you'll learn a little bit more as we go. And I've got a little reference sheet here. This is actually a ebook I wrote for learning Linux and some commands. And we're going to kind of go over the tmux section that I put here. Let's get started. If you don't have tmux installed by default, you can just install it with like, sudo dnf install tmux. So you can just do that. But I've already got it installed. I can verify by doing tmux version, and I have it installed. So the first thing you can do is, let's just go into a session. So we can literally just do tmux, and it puts us in a new window inside that remote server. So I'm SSH into a server right now. You can see when I did tmux, it's got this highlighted at the bottom. That's showing you the windows that you actually have highlighted. So let me actually turn on my keyboard showing so you can kind of see some of the keyboard shortcuts I'm using, because you'll be using some keyboard shortcuts like Control B. Well, Control B will be your prefixer, but then you're going to be doing some things after that. But let's just dive right in. You'll be able to see exactly what I'm talking about. So I have one terminal here open. Let's open up another window by doing Control B-C. And that gives me another one. So I'm going to run just some commands here so you can kind of see what's going on. So you see how like I have this output here. Well, let's go. If you look down here on the bottom, you can see I have a 0 bash and then a 1 bash. So I have two windows open in this one session. And this asterisk here is saying I'm in the first session here. So let's switch to the 0 by doing Control B-N. So you can see how now I'm in the other one, but let's go back to, if you look down here, let's go back to the 1. Control B-N, so I can do Control B-N. And then now you can see that I am back on my other one. You can see how it saved all this stuff, which is awesome. So now let's say I have this going, and let's say I've got to, exit out of this entire server. So to get out of this actual window here, not these two windows, but the actual tmux program itself, I'm going to do Control B-D, and now I'm in the main, my regular SSH session that I was in. So I'm going to exit out of this server here. So now I'm exiting out of the server. This is my local machine where I'm at right now. So I'm not into a server, but let's SSH back into this server. And you can kind of see that there's nothing going on. I'm just kind of in a regular session, but I want to access that session I was just in before. So what you can do to see if you have any active sessions is do tmux ls, and that's going to show you the active sessions. And this 0 right here is the ID of the session. You can name these sessions, which we'll get to in just a second. But let's go back into this session. So the way we can do that is tmux attach -t and then the ID or the name. We haven't gone over a name yet, but we'll just do 0. So now this brought me back to what we were working on. You can kind of see how these commands here are still there. So that's super helpful if you ever have to like SSH in and out of machines, and sometimes you want to keep that state. A lot of times, like a great example too is, let's say you have a long-running process that might take a half an hour. And let's say it's 5 o'clock and you're at work and you want to kick that process off, but if you're to do this outside of tmux, you couldn't close your computer because you'd lose connection. You wouldn't be able to do anything. But if you go into tmux, you can go into create a new window session, run that long command, then just detach it, go home, and then in the morning that command will run and you don't have to worry about it. So it's super helpful for that. Another thing I can do is I can split windows in this one. So I'm on 0, 1. So I can do, let's just create a whole new window. We're going to do Control B, C. You can see Control B is the prefix to all these commands. Like I'm doing Control B, Control B, Control B. So it's all Control B and then the key after that. So in this case, we did C. So now you can see we have 3 windows down, three windows in this session we're at right now. So another nice thing is in this window here, let's create another window inside of this window. So we can do Control B double quotes, and that will put a horizontal window. Maybe we wanted a vertical window. Let's do Control B %. Now we've got a vertical window here. So we've got 3 different windows inside this one screen. So this is all inside the 2 bash here, but we still have these other 2 screens. So let's switch to one of the other ones with Control BN. So now we're in the 0 one. Let's do Control BN. Now we're in the second one. Now let's go to the third one. Control BN. Now we're back to where our screen is like this. And just to kind of reiterate and show you this, let's detach from the session, from this whole session window, and get us back to our main login screen. So let's do Control BD. And now we're out of tmux 100%. Now we're just in our regular terminal when we SSH into the server. So now we can do tmux ls again. And then let's do attach. We're going to attach to 0. And you can see our split pane is here again. So that's awesome. And to move between these different windows here, where we have the horizontal and vertical, you can do Control B and then the arrows. So Control B arrow left, Control B arrow up, Control B arrow down, Control B arrow right. And you can see how it's switching between the different ones, which is awesome. So let's get out of this. So let's detach again. So Control B D. And you can see tmux ls, we have ours. But maybe let's create another session. We can create multiple sessions, which is awesome. And we're going to name this one now. tmux new -s. We'll name it Will. So now we're in a brand new session. So you see how it's labeled Will here, and then I just have one window in this session. Let's do that. So let's create a new window inside of this session. So we'll do Control B C. Now we have a new session. So Control B N to switch, Control B N to switch back. So now let's go back. Let's detach out of tmux. Control B D. Now let's do tmux ls now. And you can see we have the 2 windows. And you can see how this one is named Will, and this one is just 0 because we didn't give it a name. So now we can go to any of these 2 if we want, which is awesome. So you can have multiple sessions with multiple windows. You can see that this session has 3 windows, and this session has 2 windows. So let's attach to the Will session. Do tmux attach -t, and then Will, since that Will maps to that. So now we're in this session, which is awesome. All right, let's see what else we want to do. You can also like rename the current window if you wanted to. Split in the panes, that's where we split it horizontally. Oh yeah. So if you want to, close one of the horizontal or vertical ones. So let's create a horizontal and vertical window inside of this session here with Control B double quotes and then Control B % for vertical. So now we've got these. So maybe we want to close out of this one here. So first we can do Control B left arrow to get to it. And then we can do Control B X. And you can see down here, it asks kill the pane. So this will be removing this window here. So bam, we have that. So now we just have two horizontal. So let's say we want to remove this one too. We can do Control B X again, and then just confirm yes. And now we're back to the 1. So you can switch through those pretty easily. You can kill them, which is really nice. Oh yeah, if you want to kill a session, you can also do just, let's say we've got 2 windows here. Let's say we just want to kill this bash one here. We can just do Control D. And now we just have the 1. So if I do Control NC to create another one, Control BC to create another one, let's switch to the 0 with Control BN. And let's kill this one with just Control D. And now we just have the 1. So that's just killing this window inside the session. So we just did Control D. We didn't do Control B D on that. It can get a little confusing, but I suggest you obviously I want you to download my book, but I'll put a link to the book so you can download it. But you can kind of go through some of these commands and kind of see exactly what it's doing. But it's pretty simple to see. But let's say we want to kill a session. So let's get out of this. Let's get out of tmux. Do Control B D. So now we have tmux ls. Let's kill out this first one we did. So we can do tmux kill session -t and then the name or the ID. So the ID here is 0. So now we've killed that. So now we can do tmux ls, and now we just have the 1, which is awesome. So you can also modify some of these key bindings. So like we've been doing Control B has been like the prefix for everything, which that's a little, Control and B are a little bit away from on the computer key or the keyboard. So it can get, might be a little hard. So some people will map this to Control A instead. So you can kind of quickly just do Control A and then something else. We can do that pretty easily by just creating a .tmux config and then mapping here. So you can essentially just copy this. You can. It's pretty self-explanatory what it's doing. Then you can modify the split panes if you wanted to. But that's kind of the gist of tmux. It's pretty simple to use, but it's very powerful. I would encourage you to use it if you ever remote into remote servers a lot, or SSH into remote servers a lot, and then you have to keep going back and forth a lot of times. It's nice to have your session saved and do different stuff. And it's definitely fantastic when you have long running commands. I can't believe I didn't know about this this was like 10 years ago. I didn't know about it. And I would literally sit at work waiting for a command to run for 25 minutes because I didn't want it to kill. And I didn't know anything about tmux or screen. Screen is another version of what kind of tmux does, but it's kind of older. Tmux is a little bit newer and modern. But that's about it. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next video.